All right, you guys, now we about to get into a good old segment of true or false.
Pew, 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 pew.
So the first one we got today, NBA. James Harden is the NBA MVP. True or false?
I have to say that's a true statement. And I only say that because he's carried his team when they didn't have anybody to help support him at the beginning of the season. Carried them to a decent record. Then when they got back, they flourished.
I say true as well.
Why is that, Levi?
No, I don't watch basketball.
See,
I just say true off what I heard. How many games
I
did
ain't
he
watched
have?
enough for the season, so
How many games did he have over, what was it, 35 points?
yeah, wasn't it like 10 games straight or some shit?
I think it was a little bit more than that.
It was
think it
more
was
than
too.
that. I think it was 30-something games.
What the fuck?
He was up there with...
Yeah.
He was like second to Wilt.
So I'm going to have to go with true just off of
Hey,
that.
speaking of Wilt, that nigga is an urban legend. That's Catcher Freeman.
Yeah.
So, just thought I'd throw that out there real quick.
There's nothing wrong with being Catcher Freeman.
Everything's wrong with that, but whatever. But so Randy, what do you think?
I definitely think that Giannis is the MVP.
Why do you say that?
I say that because even though James Harden is putting up his 36 points a game, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, what have you, you still got Giannis in the Eastern Conference putting up 27, 12 and a half rebounds, and nearly 6 assists. Not only that, they have the best record in the NBA. Not just in the Eastern Conference, the NBA.
The Bucks?
The Bucks
Wow.
have the best record in the NBA.
Wow.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. And I just think that Giannis has been more consistent wire to wire. I think the Houston Rockets kind of got started in the season fairly slow. And it took them about 20 games in the season to get rolling, whereas Giannis and the Bucks been putting the pressure on the NBA's neck throughout the whole season. So,
But wouldn't you say because of the Rockets is because of their injuries
nope.
early in the season?
I mean, Capella and Paul have been out, but even Capella, I think Capella's up until this point has played 65 games, which is fairly respectable in the 82-game season. And then Chris Paul, I mean, with him, you have to assume he's going to get injured all the time. Every season anyway. So, and he still played a respectable 56 up until this point. His stats are down, but, I mean, all in all, I think the teams are pretty balanced. I think the teams are pretty balanced. One of the main things that people will argue is that the Rockets don't have a team, that James Harden doesn't have a supporting cast, which I think is pretty much bullshit.
It is BS.
I think it's bullshit because even though James Harden is putting up a godly 36 points a game, he still has Chris Paul, he still has Eric Gordon, he still has Clint Capella, and you have Kenneth Faried coming off the bench giving you 13 points a game. Not to mention Chris Paul and Eric Gordon are scoring 16 points a game. So I definitely got Giannis on that one.
So we got 2 trues, 1 false. Was it
Neutral.
neutral?
So yeah, false.
2
false.
trues, 1 false.
It's understandable.
No, me.
Oh,
no,
okay.
me.
I was like,
No, yeah, you got false.
Oh, okay, cool.
And me and Meezy got true.
All right, now we're gonna get into another debate, rather, and this one is: Major League Baseball money is better than NFL money. True or false?
False. It takes you way too long to get that major league money, MLB money, and then even then, you probably won't get those contracts we talk about for days. You won't get the Bryce Harper. You won't get the Giancarlo. You know what I'm saying? Where you could basically have a small country type money.
That's top of the food chain.
Like you're literally a top 15, top 20 player in the league.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, on the NFL, it's a bit more. It's a bit smaller, but the money's a bit more consistent too. And there's also time for multiple contracts.
Because your number 1 pick comes out about $20 million guaranteed money.
Yep.
So if you take that, let's put this into for Kyler Murray, because that's the one that's really been talked about recently. Is it worth to wait? Who knows how long? Because you have to have 6 years of MLB service in the major leagues. That does not count AA, AAA, single A ball, anywhere.
21.
So, okay, yeah, he's 21 years old. Let's say it takes him 2 years to get to the show, and he's playing with Oakland. And then now he's got 6 years to play compared to if he gets that number 1 overall pick, you got $20 million in your pocket walking out of the draft.
Instantly.
But at the same time, what if in 8 years you have a 10-year, $300 million contract? You're looking at $300 million compared to $20 million. Because what if you fizzle out? What if you're a bust? What if you don't even get another contract after your rookie deal?
So are we talking about in general, or
we're talking about in general? Yeah, in general. I'm just putting it in, with Kyler Murray because he's, been the conversation started with this. Because you look at Bryce Harper, Manny Machado, Mike Trout, who just got paid in a extension from the Angels. They're all making, roughly $300 million for about 10 years of service. Albert Pujols, that's the deal he got. I know Alex Rodriguez had a similar deal. I think even more than $300 million. I think it was like 310, somewhere around that range. And not to mention, he also got another deal with I want to say the Rangers that was worth about $280 million.
Yeah. So
that's two different deals, and that's $500 million worth of money on the table for and granted, that's Alex Rodriguez, but that's top of the top.
So what about the guys in the NFL that's not the top guys?
You're still getting at least a $20-30 million contract if you're, above average.
Well, I was about to say, and if you're talking about quarterback money,
what if you're not though? What if you're not above average?
If you're below average,
what if you're just a runner, the average player?
He's saying, what if you're like a 4th or 5th round pick?
But if you're
that's where it gets a little murky.
Yeah, it does
because we're talking about the good players.
What if you're lower level MLB?
In general, in general, we're talking about the average player.
But what if you're lower level MLB as well? You could be making $30,000 a year, literally playing baseball.
Yeah.
Which is basically what the lower level NFL players.
And we know at least practice squads. I was like, practice squad. They're making more than that. They're making $250K. Yeah. Like that's they are in the six figures.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You're making an average American salary playing AA ball.
Yeah, they do have to get side
a lot of
jobs.
them got part-time jobs, bro. So
David Price at one point, he almost gave up on baseball just for the simple fact that he's going from ratty ass motel to ratty ass motel in nowhere America to make a couple bucks to play a ball game. He said he'd almost rather work at Walmart.
So I'd rather take that guaranteed $20 million.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go
you're
false.
upper echelon though.
Yeah,
but we know he's going in the first round regardless.
But that's him though.
Yeah, he's
right.
In general.
I'm just
if we're
saying.
Talking about in general, though, I would still rather be a low level NFL player. The risk is the whole thing, because if you're a top level player, you can make that insane amount of money. But if you're a lower level player, you're gonna make more money in the NFL as a lower level player than you're gonna make in Major League Baseball as a lower level player.
I think MLB money is better. I think it's true.
Okay.
MLB money is better simply because in the NFL, or in the MLB rather, the average career in the MLB spans 5.5 years, right? NFL, you only get 3.3 years. That's the average lifespan in the NFL.
That's also true, but do you know how much time is spent in like the farm system in the MLB?
Not even to mention 5.5 years. You said is the stat on that. Mm-hmm. It takes you 6 years to become a free agent in baseball.
6 years.
So the average person
Career.
doesn't even see an actual contract. You go for the first 2 years, your club, they decide how much money you make. In the next 4 years, you have the court system of arbitration to tell you how much you're going to make. So, you could be making millions of dollars through arbitration because the courts could, whoever's hearing your case for arbitration,
value for that.
and they could say, okay, this dude's worth $10 million. What the fuck are you guys trying to pay him, $1 million for this season? But at the same time, you could also have it the opposite way around. And then you still have, that's 4 more years to really be able to take control of your own career, unless literally no team in the league wants you, and then you can become a free agent. But then what kind of money are you really going to be making then?
But also, and then on the flip side of that too, after your rookie deal, you still have to deal with basically arbitration, because then they can just franchise tag you or transition tag you for the next 2 to 3 years.
You're talking about with the NFL?
Yeah, with the NFL.
Yeah, but you're making...
Yeah, you
still
are.
million.
Yeah,
you're still making.
You're
15.
making an average of the top. What is that? 15, 25, somewhere around in there.
Yeah, something like that. Top 25.
Yeah, they're taking an average of the top 25 at your position, and that's what you're getting compared to you could be making
pennies.
$90,000.
Yeah.
You could be making $30,000 playing in AA. So,
But I think it's also a matter of how much you value injuries.
yeah.
Also, because
Well, head trauma's not there, and I think baseball players in general are going to be a lot more fresh.
Yeah, potential
6 years
of
down the
longevity.
road.
Yeah,
Mhm.
there's the potential of longevity, but that's the main thing with MLB is that I've noticed is that it's all potential. You know what I'm saying?
It is all potential.
Because then you're talking about potential of longevity, potential of you making more money, potential of you being the better player. You know what I'm saying? So to me,
which is that in NFL also.
that too.
Yeah.
But those type of variables, I'd rather take my chances more so on an NFL spot.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to say false for sure. I think NFL money here and now. If you are top of the line baseball player and you really think you can get that money, you're like a Bryce Harper that came out of high school with so much hype behind him. I think that it's definitely more valuable, but at the end of the day, for average players, you're going to be making more money in the NFL than you would if you were an average player in Major League Baseball.
I agree the same. I think it's a false statement.
False.
So what if you're a mid-level player in MLB? What are usually the mid-range level contracts?
What type of mid level are they? Like above average or like right below average?
I mean, you're still probably making around
Around
$2 to $10 million a year.
at the max.
Maybe pitching's valued more than
Positional players.
but around that. I mean, if you're not top of the line, I mean, you could be getting upwards of $20-30 million a year, but like I said, that's very top of the line compared to in the NFL. I mean, like you said, getting franchise tagged. I mean, you may be making $14 million for the season.
And you don't even have to be quote unquote elite to be
Right.
getting franchise.
You got to
tag.
be good.
You do have to be good.
you gotta be
now,
good.
like if you're average,
But you could just have a good season.
yeah,
You know
that's
what I'm
all it
saying?
takes. One.
Because I mean, people here were talking about franchise D Ford, but he's literally had one good season.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's true.
and he
That's
would be
true.
making $14 million. So I think mid-level guys that if you can have a really good contract year,
Yeah.
the NFL
that's
is a lot
really
better
all
for
you need.
you.
Because, like, all right, with the MLB, you would have to put in 6 just to get decent money. 6 years opposed to 1 year. I'm gonna take the NFL money personally.
Because that's all. Most of it's up front.
Yeah, you get yours.
But
up
to me,
front.
the mid-level money in the NFL sounds, I mean, it's just about the same,
Yeah.
10 million.
It comes down to the risk of you're risking you have to be this good for this long, or at least towards the end of your 6 years in Major League Baseball, and you don't have to. I don't think that you have to worry as much about being as good in the NFL necessarily that you do in baseball to get that top of the line money. Because if I can just put together a few years, maybe I have a really good contract here this year, I get a really good 3-year deal, and then I kind of fizzle out a little bit, but that last year is a really solid year. Maybe I get picked up for a 1 year, how much ever it may be, deal. I think in baseball it's a lot different. Once you fall off, you're not making big time money a lot of times anymore.
Unless you come back with like
Right.
an outrageous performance.
Right. I think the biggest risk is you're risking more of your health in the NFL for money that's going to be there now.
And
And
you can get cut. Can't you get cut at any time, basically?
in the NFL?
Yeah.
Yeah, but those contracts still go on.
But yeah, and if my money's guaranteed, I'm guaranteed that money.
And how much of that money is going to be guaranteed, too?
typically between I'll say 50 and 75% of that money is guaranteed.
Yeah.
The rest of it is like quote unquote fairy money. You know, bonuses, performance bonuses, OTA practices, showing up, different things of that stuff, that nature. But I'd rather take 50 to 75% of big money than have to gamble on myself for 6 years straight
Right.
just to get my big payday. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? What I feel like I'm deserved. So that's my 2.
So we got 3 falses, 1 true on that.
Yeah.
All right, now next we have Cardi B should be in jail. True or false? And Rowdy Ray, you can kind of get into the specifics of
Yeah.
that whole ordeal.
Well, the whole deal with Cardi B is that supposedly there are males from her past saying that, and there's a video that surfaced also of her saying that she used to have to drug men and lure them to hotel rooms to rob them. Back in her older days as a exotic dancer. And she's facing a lot of backlash because some people are, by general definition, that is rape. You know what I'm saying? To drug somebody without their consent and then to have sex with them while they're drugged is, there's a lack of consent there, which counts as rape. And basically, she should be held accountable, but for her to go to jail, can we prove that she did it? At this point, it's only she admitted it, but to which counts?
Assuming she did
it, yeah.
But she admitted it. It's an admission.
Yeah, it's an admission, but to what specific crime?
Okay, cool. But assuming she did, what you got?
True. Damn.
I say it's true too.
Damn.
Sorry.
I get it out. Assuming she did, yes. Assuming. But like I said, I will wait for all the facts to come out, before I make my own
That's cool.
assessment.
That's nice cookie cutter stuff.
Here you go, bro.
But assuming she said she did what she said she did, you're saying true.
I said true. Yeah, nigga,
All right, bro, I'm asking you a question. God
You
damn.
pressing my line?
Cut the cookie cutter shit.
No, I'm just trying to get the definitive.
Press his line.
Bro, this nigga, he pressed my line like Nancy Grace, cuz. Come on, cuz. Relax.
Give me your goddamn answer.
I'm only saying truths because Bill Cosby got accused of stuff from years ago that's just hearsay with no real factual evidence that he did or did not, and he got convicted of it. But Cardi B admitted to drugging people and doing these sexual acts to people, and nothing.
I don't think did she do any sexual acts? After
That she didn't explicitly admit to doing sexual acts.
Yeah, she just said that she used it to rob them.
Yes.
But still, that's a crime.
It's a crime. No, I'm just saying, but
she
that's a
admitted.
whole other.
Yeah, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I get
The
what you're saying.
views of Jamal do not represent the SchroBanks Show. Let me
Why you
preface
saying that? Jamal didn't even say. Meezy ain't even say nothing.
Okay. All right, let me put it like this: Cardi B is not Bill Cosby. She didn't have 30 counts of rape. This nigga,
No, he's not.
I'm
Bill
not.
Cosby.
I'm not. I'm saying that they both committed crimes and they both should be accounted for.
I'll say this because one of the men that came forward about the crime revealed it as a hoax. Which you get what I'm saying? So now that's
he made up his version.
I know.
But
Yeah.
what was the exact admission? What that she said?
She said, "This is how I used to have to survive. That I would have to be in the club, lure a guy outside of the club, then drug him, then rob him. Which basically you lure him to a hotel under the premise that consensual sex is going to occur.
Right.
And then she would drug said guy to perform a robbery.
Look, man.
Yeah, I mean, either way,
I mean
that
it's
is
dead wrong.
Yeah, no, either way, I think that I think very true. She should be in jail if that's what she did. Yeah. But I don't know. Like I think, like you said, more details will have to come out about the sexual allegations.
That's
because,
true.
But if it comes out, I mean, like, why? I think she's in the same boat as Bill Cosby.
That's a reach.
How?
When you have 30.
How the fuck we don't know she
how do you know she don't have 30?
30 motherfuckers ain't came forward about Cardi B. This man was raping women over decades.
Okay, but how do we know that Cardi wasn't doing the same thing? I'm just saying, let the facts come out. That's all I'm saying. And if the facts come out that that was the case, she in the same boat as Bill.
But this is the whole thing. She doesn't have nearly as many victims that have come forward about it.
That's true, but that's what I'm saying. Let the details come out. We don't know. We don't know yet.
Yeah, but to say that she's out here putting up them type numbers.
What if in 2 months that
you never
40
know.
dudes have come forward saying I got robbed?
Well, then if that's the case, then if only 30 women came forward about Bill Cosby, how many more did we miss? Didn't come forward.
You might have missed a lot.
Hey, I'm saying, so we can play this what if game all day.
That's fine. I'm just saying if we wait for the facts to come out and it's the same deal, she should be in the same boat. That's all I'm saying.
I wouldn't say the exact same boat because
why?
Why not?
Because this is the one thing, like you said, until all the details come out. Mm-hmm. So right now we don't have any confirmation of her performing sexual acts with these people.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying when we let the details come out, if it's the same type of situation, she should be in the same boat as Bill Cosby. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying she is. I'm not saying she isn't. I'm just saying if we let time go on and the facts come out and it's the same situation, she should be held accountable.
Are you talking about as in her performing sexual assault?
Yes.
Okay, because I thought you was talking about just her drugging her.
No.
I was just like, there's a difference.
Because there is a difference because, and I think, you know, if a dude is going back to a hotel room, you know, and the thought is you're gonna have consensual sex and you get drugged and robbed, I don't think that's you know, because at the end of the day, you know, even if there is, I think it does kind of depend on the drugging, whether it happens before or after. Mm-hmm. But because if she drugged them before they have sex, I still kind of I still kind of think that's not consensual, because if you're drugged and then, you know, then the act happens, like you're not gonna be in your right mind for that.
Oh no, for sure on that. But
I think if she's just going, if she just did what she said, then I'm saying I definitely think that she should be held accountable in some way. I don't think it's necessarily should be held in jail.
But do you think some type of like civil pursuit should be like some type of civil?
I think she should have to pay out.
Definitely.
I think you should have to pay out and undergo some type of classes or some type of, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't know if you drugging people.
And that's fair, because if it was a man drugging a woman and robbing her, I'm probably going to be having a different, just being real.
Yeah.
Like, just being real. And we kind of desensitize abuse against men, which is terrible.
Big facts.
As a society, we do that. So maybe I'm saying something completely different had it been a man drugging a woman and robbing her.
Yeah.
If he came out,
just saying it just sounds.
Yeah, it just sounds extra bad. Like, I'm thinking lock that dude up.
Yeah.
And throw away the key at this point.
And that could be from what the Me Too era has kind of done to us. And I think for the better. I'm not saying it's bad, because I think we need to be aware of the abuse and traumas and things of that nature against women. So I don't think it's for the worst, but I'm just saying, since we're in that era, I think we're more sensitive, a little bit more sensitive anyway, to the things that's going on against women. But yeah, it's such a touchy subject.
Yeah. You
True
said
or
all
false?
that. I was about to say, you said all that to say true or false.
False for jail time. But if it came out that she did something, she needs to be held accountable in some form or fashion. I don't necessarily think jail time. Maybe.
If you drugging someone though,
Yeah,
like
if you drugging somebody.
that's what gets me.
But-
Is you're drugging somebody. That's
The fuck.
But you know what I'm also thinking about too is the fact that so many men did some foul shit to women and got away with it. And that might be what I'm kind of bringing into this. I'm not looking at it in isolation.
you're looking at it in a biased way.
Yeah. Plus, I'll say this though: most like when it comes to robberies and stuff like that, women are at a distinct disadvantage unless they have a gun. So instead of strong arming somebody, because ain't not too many women gonna be out here strong arm robbing people. It makes more sense for her to do that way in a twisted sense.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
You know what I'm saying? So it's semi understandable, but
still,
it's I was like, it's still dead wrong at the end of the day, and that that goes on both sides. Just to
So you got true or false?
Oh, I said true.
You said true, yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Measy?
I have to say true.
3. You going false, Randy? Just false on the jail time, but
there needs to be some type of
repercussions.
Yeah.
It's so I'm like, right? Now I regret kind of pushing your line, bro.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. Because I was like,
it's a touchy subject.
Exactly. That's the main thing I was trying to get at. You know what I'm saying? Because 1, we don't have all of the details. Number 2, what is the statute of limitations on something like that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because we know that she kind of grew up fast, you know what I'm saying? Even though she's only like 22, 23, this all because she could have been stripping at like the age of 17 or 18 or something like that. And statute of limitations could have came up by this time because they only last like 7-8 years. In some cases 10, unless it's murder.
Yeah.
And in or in the state of Pennsylvania, as we learned with Bill Cosby, they don't expire.
So with all that being said, we're going to go ahead and jump into another one. And this one is today's society, or excuse me, today's public won't let you change your views. True or false?
I say true. I don't think that they will, just for the simple fact that, you know, you look at people that will dig anything up that maybe you've posted on social media or anything that you've done. Like, people will dig anything up and hold that against you, no matter what your current, you know,
position is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Yeah, to kind of build off of that, it all depends on what side of the line you're on also. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're towing a more liberal line and you said some things that were rather, quote unquote, like hateful, you know what I'm saying, or may have been in bad taste, they'll be a little bit quicker to forgive. You know what I'm saying? But if you're a conservative and it says, you know, some things that, you know, could be considered hurtful or, you know, in bad taste, they'll crucify you for it. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of depends on what side of the line you're towing.
So your answer is depends?
Yeah.
The segment is true or false. True or false.
And yet I'm still sitting there on the great line. God damn it, true. It's my ass.
I have to say it's true for my brothers right here. They explained it very well.
I'm going true, and I think it's easy because I say that with ease because look no further than what Kevin Hart had to go through. You're talking about one of the most PC celebrities in Hollywood right now. And when it came out about the homophobic kind of scandal that he went through, they ran his name through the mud, man. So, I mean, if a guy like Kevin Hart is not safe from it, nobody's safe. They're not going to let you change. You can't change. And we see it all the time. They dig stuff up on everybody. Yeah. As soon as your name is met with relevancy, they're going back to see what you may have said. And yeah, so I don't think they let you change either. So that's true for me. So we all true.
Unanimously.
True. Has everybody heard Old Town Road by Lil Nas X?
Yeah.
It's more like who hasn't heard it at this point.
I just heard it today.
The song slaps.
It's a fact. That's a fact. Well, Billboard, the Billboard country charts took his song off the top 40 because they said the elements of the song weren't country enough, pretty much.
Yeah, it doesn't represent what country music.
So with that being said, Old Town Road should be considered a country song. True or false?
I think it should be considered country. It may be newer style country, but I think it still should be considered country.
I agree with that. I say true. For sure. I mean, if what a band like Florida Georgia Line, if they're country, why the fuck can't he be country?
And what do you say about Florida Georgia Line? Because I've never listened to them.
Just because like they're more popish, and I know that's like the, you know, like I just know that that's like they're just real popish band, and
they're one of the like higher up country singers nowadays.
Yeah.
And didn't like Shania Twain do a bunch of like pop stuff too?
I don't know, honestly. I don't know.
You was kind of supposed to be the resident authority on country.
Hey, I don't know
why
all country. But
why, Rowdy Ray?
Because
is it because he's white?
I did stereotype him. I shoehorned him into that stereotype. Go ahead and send me the sensitivity class, please.
But I feel like at the end of the day, like what
constitutes
country?
Exactly,
you know
what constitutes a song as country?
He's talking about country shit. Like what is
talking about tractors? You know,
exactly.
Leaving his baby.
So why would it not be considered country? I feel, and it's got a, you know, country flair to it with the beat and all. I mean, if that's what he calls it, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Let's break it down, bro. Let's break it down a little bit.
Break it down.
This man said, "I got the horses in the back.
In the back.
Horse tack is attached. Hat is matted black. Got the boots that's black to match. If that's not country, I don't know what is."
Just happened around. That's all.
True. It should be considered country.
You know what? I'm going true. And I don't know a damn thing about country.
They ain't never told no lies. It's always true.
And that's all we're going to say about that. But speaking of Old Town Country Road, I got to thinking of a question to pose to you guys. What is your favorite genre bending moment in music?
That Nelly Tim McGraw song.
See, and that was the thing. That's like immediate. The first thing I thought when I heard Old Town Road. But that's what everybody's been saying on Twitter too, bringing it back up. So I would say mine would be probably the most important genre bending moment in rap, and that's Aerosmith and Run DMC.
Yeah.
Walk This Way.
Great song.
Basically, rap was in its infancy at the time, and that basically made Run DMC rock stars.
Exactly. And to kind of piggyback off what he said, that's my favorite moment. And boo to that damn Nelly and Tim McGraw song.
What?
That song was awful.
What?
Hot take. Kiss my ass. That song was awful.
Are you?
Damn.
And it's all in my head. Shut that shit
No.
up. That shit awful.
So hold up.
No. What was so awful about the song?
Tim McGraw sounded like shit. Even though I respect what the song was about, the execution of it was shite.
You a hating ass motherfucker.
Well, I gotta be all that.
Because, bro, you didn't have a crush.
Have
Nah. You didn't have a crush, bro, and because that song came out, we was what?
I think we was about 9 or 10.
You didn't have a crush, bro, and you was riding down the highway, and it was raining, and the rain was rolling down the window, and you was looking out the window thinking about your crush that broke your heart, bro.
I was playing music
Singing
Soul
over
Child.
and over again.
I wasn't singing that. That song was about his
I was
dead
playing
sister.
music Soul Child
My
because
auntie-
I'm a woke black man. Fuck up, nigga.
See, I mean, I just did not prefer to listen to that song. I'd just rather listen to music Soul Child, and I don't think I should be judged for that.
You not judged, bro, but you came at it wrong, bro.
Yeah,
You talking about it's trash.
But it was.
It wasn't.
It didn't age well either.
I disagree.
I say he's right on that.
Thank you.
I
say
disagree.
he's right.
I played it.
It didn't age well. It did not age well.
I-
At the time, it was a good song.
The
But
guitar lick sounds lazy. Tim McGraw sound like he phoned it in. Nelly, the only person that tried on that track to me.
now listening to it, he's right. But back,
I'd have to go back and listen to it. I ain't heard that song
back
in a
the
minute.
day, it was a slap. It was one of the bangers.
It still
you
slapped
listened
to me.
I can't
Randy,
say that
a
now.
lot of things still slap to you that shouldn't slap.
What? No, let's get into it. What?
Nah, we not gonna do that.
Roast me, nigga.
That's for
in me.
That's for another day. I'm gonna save this.
No.
We're not going there. So, Levi, what'd you think?
Of
Like
the song?
One of the song, and then like, is that like your genre bend moments? Like, is that your favorite?
No, I would have to go with. I wanted to say the Run DMC with Aerosmith because that was dope, but honestly, I have to say an even better moment. Big Crit when he got his song with.
Get him out of here.
I knew Big Crit was gonna come out.
I've seen it.
Bro,
and
with
it's-
BB King. All right.
Yeah, fuck y'all.
That song wasn't even good, bro.
Man, fuck that.
Where's
The moment was
tomatoes?
good.
That song
Exactly.
was dope.
The ideal was good.
Exactly.
Nah.
Execution,
Ideal was
not
good.
so much.
Nah, that song's great.
Rest in peace, BB King, bro. All love, you a legend.
For real.
I was on the road.
I knew he was gonna say
knew.
Crit.
Know
Nah,
which
look
way to go. Think I hear a praying man
Hey,
coming.
bro. Nobody. And I mean nobody at all. Y'all heard how good Big Crit is? This is Levi.
Fuck out of here. Big Crit the best in the game,
See,
right?
look, there you go.
Best overall artist in the game.
Tired of this thing.
Cut his mic, please.
King remembered in time.
Crit dope though. Crit dope.
And it's not to say he not, but that nigga Levi a homer.
I am. I will admit that. I am. But yeah, BB King and Big Crit, I think, was my favorite moment.